Something large is moving through the understory of the Odzla-Kukua forest in the Republic of Congo. Not a gorilla, not a forest buffalo. Something that parts the vegetation at shoulder height and leaves behind a corridor of flattened saplings. And then, the evidence becomes visible. A clearing where no clearing existed yesterday. Stripped bark, shattered trunks, and at the center, a mound of dung the size of a kitchen table, packed with seeds that will not germinate anywhere else on Earth. What looks like destruction is actually ecological engineering. And according to the International Monetary Fund, the animal responsible for it is worth approximately $1.75 million. The Congo Basin is Earth's second largest tropical rainforest, storing approximately 60 billion tons of carbon. That is roughly 3 years of total global human emissions locked inside living wood. But not all wood is equal. Fast-growing softwood species store less carbon than slow-growing hardwoods. The composition of the forest determines how much carbon the entire system can hold. Human reforestation programs can plant trees. They cannot control which trees win the competition for canopy space, but an animal can. And for millions of years, one has been doing exactly that. The Congo forest elephant once numbered in the millions across Central Africa. Between 2002 and 2011, the population declined by 62%. Poaching was the primary driver. By the time comprehensive surveys were completed, only approximately 100,000 forest elephants remained. What vanished with those elephants was not just a species. It was an ecological cascade that had been running continuously for millions of years. The mechanism operates through 4 distinct behaviors. Behavior 1 is selective tree destruction. Forest elephants deliberately knock down smaller, fast-growing trees. These are consistently the light-wooded species that compete with hardwoods for canopy space. When an elephant removes a softwood sapling, it opens a gap. That gap lets sunlight reach the slower-growing, carbon-dense hardwood species below. Over time, the forest shifts in composition, locking more carbon per hectare. Behavior 2 is seed dispersal. Forest elephants eat fruit from dozens of tree species. Their dung carries those seeds across distances of up to 50 kilometers. Some tree species depend entirely on elephant gut passage for germination. The acids in the elephant's digestive system break down seed coats that would otherwise remain dormant. Without elephants, those species do not reproduce. Behavior 3 is clearing creation. The corridors and gaps elephants leave behind function as nurseries. Hardwood saplings in these clearings access sunlight they would never receive under closed canopy. A forest elephant produces these clearings continuously throughout its life. Behavior 4 is soil compaction and nutrient cycling. Elephant movement along established trails alters water drainage. Their dung deposits create nutrient hotspots. These are measurable, consistent effects that compound over decades. This is not habitat destruction. It is forest management at a speed and scale no human program can match. Before we get into what the data showed, if you are enjoying this so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It genuinely helps us make more content like this one. Now, back to the story. In 2019, a team led by Ralph Chami at the International Monetary Fund published a study that attempted to put a dollar value on the carbon services provided by individual forest elephants. The result was approximately $1.75 million per elephant. That figure represents the lifetime carbon capture impact of a single animal. It makes the Congo forest elephant one of the most economically valuable wild animals on Earth. The data behind that figure comes from a measurable outcome. Forests with healthy elephant populations show up to 7% higher above-ground biomass than comparable forests without elephants. Applied to 60 billion tons of stored carbon, 7% represents billions of tons of additional carbon storage that exists only because elephants are present. The elephants are doing carbon engineering that nobody asked them to do. However, neither side of this argument wins cleanly. Communities living on the borders of Congo basin forests face real costs from elephant presence. Crop raiding is a persistent problem. A single elephant can destroy a subsistence farmer's entire seasonal harvest in one night. For families living on less than $2 per day, the abstract value of carbon storage means nothing when their cassava fields are flattened. Compensation programs exist, but they are inconsistent. The money, when it arrives, rarely covers the full loss. Meanwhile, the carbon value of each elephant, $1.75 million, flows to no one locally. It is an externality captured in academic papers, not in the pockets of the people who bear the cost. There are researchers who argue that carbon credit markets could bridge this gap. There are others who argue that carbon markets are unreliable and politically vulnerable. Both positions have evidence behind them. The debate is ongoing. Forest elephants are not passive inhabitants. They are disturbance engineers. And the forest they built is one of the most important carbon stores on the planet. If their population continues to decline, the Congo Basin will still be a forest. But it will be a different forest. One that stores measurably less carbon and loses the structural complexity that took millions of years to develop. What do you think? Should we protect Congo forest elephants as carbon infrastructure, or does the cost to local communities make that impossible? Leave your answer in the comments. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one.